Welcome to the ultimate Tolkien Tournament. This is Middle-earth Madness. Yes! Welcome back, everyone, to the Chamber of Death. And welcome to the show where we show our faces. We're kind of just talking, we're realizing, hey, we haven't
I'll never get tired of that intro. That is such a great intro.
Hey, thanks.
Yes.
I made it.
Credit to Chucky for that one.
Intro.
Take a bow.
I love it.
Yes. So welcome back, everyone, to the finale of the ultimate Tolkien Tournament.
We out here. Let 'em
Are
know.
you prepared? We have Eonwe joining us from a very modern-looking office. How's it going, Hanti?
It is good. Excited for the final battle.
Indeed. Welcome, Engine Chief, who just went invisible. No worries. Welcome
He
back.
put his ring on.
Yeah, he slipped on that Bilbo ring and bye-bye. Yeah, so Engine Chief, if you're just joining us, he's the one who designed the Middle-earth Madness battle engine. So shout out to him, shout out to Chucky for pretty much all our graphics, and shout out to Hanti for introducing us to all these cool streaming contests. This would not be a thing if it wasn't for all these people you see on the panel. So
Aww.
bow taken by all you guys. I'll take it for you. But yeah, round of applause for these guys. Appreciate you guys, and appreciate everyone tuning in for the finale tonight. We should have a good one. Then again, these things are never guaranteed because it is simulated battle and it is Middle Earth, and upsets are commonplace, right? Not only in a single elimination tournament like this, but you know, Eowyn, Witch King. You guys know how it goes. So we'll see what happens. We've got Eonwe against Feanor in the finale here. So we've got that in the pipe. But before we get to all of that, we're gonna shoot the breeze a little bit. We're going to show you, a little bit of how we got here in the bracket, and generally recap what has been also
The Jet. Speaking of upsets, the Jets are beating the Avalanche right now. Oh, are you recording it? I'm so sorry.
What? Oh, it doesn't. No, you're good.
Are you recording the hockey?
No.
Yeah, the Jets. It's a really good game.
No.
The Jets are beating the Avalanche 4-3. Second intermission.
Oh, nice. Well, go Avs. Go Avs.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Hey, I still love the Avs, but going for the Jets. Going for the Jetsies.
Yeah.
Oh,
hey, Betsy man. Look at
speaking
that.
of the Avs. Look
Full
at
Avs gear. I love it. I've got my Nugget shirt on tonight. And yeah, I've been getting a lot of compliments on my Pride shirt, which I didn't even think of. I'm representing all sorts of causes here unwittingly. Yeah, I go into my daughter's ballet class, and someone's like, "Oh, I love your Pride shirt. That's really neat. Where'd you get it?" And I said, "My what?" "Oh, Denver Nuggets. Denver Nuggets." And yeah, this is how their jerseys used to look in the 80s. Anyway, it's a whole thing.
Just say thank you.
I did. Yeah, I was pretty much like, "Hey, cool, love
Just
it."
say yeah. Mine kind of looks like a Pride jersey too, and whatever. Rainbows are cool. My daughter loves rainbows.
No.
Uh-oh. Careful.
Time
He's
out.
calling
Time out. Somebody younger than any of you corrected me the other day. When someone compliments you on your shirt or something like that, you're not supposed to say thank you anymore. That's passé.
Really?
You're supposed to say, I receive it.
I've never heard this.
I receive.
Well, you're old.
Huh. Well, I guess. Can't say.
I'm just gonna say what I say at like a bar whenever I get a beer, and they're like, "Hey, enjoy your beer," and I'm like, "You too," and then I walk away, and I'm like, "Wow, I just said you too to somebody."
Yeah,
And
have a nice flight, says the ticket taker. Oh,
yeah.
You too.
Or somebody drops off your food. You know what I mean? Like they're like delivering food in the pouring down rain, and you're too lazy to cook, so you order food, and they bring it to you because you're lazy, and they're like, "Hey, enjoy your dinner," and you say, "You too." It happens to me all the time. Anyways,
have a nice trip. Yeah, thanks. You too.
Yeah.
Wait.
I do it constantly.
Yeah. You could say Led Zeppelin, but then they wouldn't get it.
So tonight, are you prepared for battle?
Hey, Hanti.
Hanti looks prepared.
Can you knock on your helmet for us? Can you? Oh, a little harder. Oh, yeah.
Dang.
It's very metal.
It looks real.
It's I don't know what it's made of, but
it's made of metal.
Indeed. All right. So if you guys are just tuning in, we are wrapping up what has been a pretty ridiculously epic 64 character ultimate Tolkien tournament. And just in case you have missed any, first of all, we should mention off the top, go back and watch the fights on YouTube. They're all there. They're edited into, really short little videos. You can see any of the fights you want if you missed any on YouTube. Where's that link? Well, we'll flash it across the bottom of your screen here shortly. But best site for all of this is MiddleEarthMadness.com. Bottom of every page, we got all the links to all the things. Whatever social platform is your favorite, we're on all of them. Easy to find. So if you don't want to Google Middle-earth Madness, YouTube, go to the website. We got you covered. And speaking of the website, we are going to go there now and show you how we got where we're at. So here we have the final four on your screen here. Our championship game tonight, of course, being Eonwe against Feanor. But how did we get here? Well, region by region, we'll walk you through. Starting with the most boring region. This region down here was the pretty much the chalkiest region. Okay, so chalky, March Madness term just means the favorites on your chalkboard end up advancing, the favorite seeds. So Sauron, of course, flew through this region. Didn't really have a challenge until the final game when he faced Ancalagon the Black, or as we know him, just the Black. And so pretty chalky down here. You had a 3-2 Sweet 16, a 1-5 Elrond against Sauron. Basically, the big two upsets happened early in this region. That was Faramir was able to slay Smaug. So that was a cool one. I don't think any of us had picked that one. And then Dain slew Treebeard. And so that one was unexpected as well and pretty cool. Chalk final ended up being Sauron against Ancalagon, and Sauron advanced. Moving up to the top bracket, which was the Beleriand bracket. Slightly less chalky here. You had two major upsets. And of course, starting from the front. Legolas, a 10 seed in the Elite 8, or the Elden 8, as we sometimes call it. How did Legolas get to here? Well, he started off with an upset against Beren, the man of the First Age, the hero of the First Age that liberated the Silmaril from Morgoth. Then he slew Ugluk. What's Ugluk doing in the second round in a 10-15 matchup? Well, Ugluk slew Gandalf in the first round. In what at that point was definitely the upset of the tournament, until the next night, where Merry slew Gothmog in a 16-1. upset. We'll get there. We'll get there in a second. Up here in the first round, you might recall in a great fight, Boromir slew Eärendil. And he wasn't done yet. He advanced to take on Fingolfin and slew him.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of our favorite region here. Kind of chalky at the top, although, the Witch King did upset Gil-galad. Slight upset there. And
that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Set up the Eonwe Witch King battle there, and Eonwe won that. And then the legendary interfellowship clash of Boromir against Legolas. And, fellas, help me out. I don't really remember. This was a pretty close fight, right?
It was a really fun one because Legolas, I can't even remember the amount of arrows that he shot, but it took a lot. And I mean, a lot.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they were sticking in Boromir's shield and everything, right?
It's like 15 arrows.
That's right. That was a fun one. Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, that region ended up being a 10 seed against a 1 to set up, who would advance to the Final Four. And, of course, it was Eonwe to set up a legendary clash of two Maya, the evil against the good. Eonwe against Sauron. And this was an absolute beatdown. Didn't project that way. We thought it'd be really close, and Eonwe just waxed Gorthaur. So, I don't know. Maybe he used all his power and he won't be prepared tonight, or maybe he's just that good. We're going to find out. Moving really quickly along to the right side of the bracket, bottom right here. We had, obviously the final was Beleg against Ungoliant. Winner of that advanced to the Final Four. And that was Beleg in the upset to have our only non-1 seed that advanced to the Final Four. But following Beleg's path backwards is kind of fun because this is a hell of a run by this guy, right? He starts out Aragorn, which we thought, okay, pretty, it's an 8-9, so it should be a pretty good fight, but all of us had Aragorn, I think, across the board, right, guys?
Yeah, I would say so.
And then, of course, he gets a favor from Gothmog, who pooped his pants against Merry in the first round. And what can you say? Merry pulled it out. That was an amazing fight. Also worth watching on YouTube. Go look it up if you missed that one. And so Merry against Beleg. Beleg handles business. And then you have some chalk here. Huan against Luthien, which was a cool first stage clash of two friends that helped each other out on the quest up to Fangorod to liberate the Silmaril. Luthien advances, and Beleg pulls another upset in what, I don't know, it wasn't the fight of the tournament probably, but it's top 3. Would that be fair? Luthien coming back from the grave with 0.09 health to last another 20 rounds or something.
Zombie Luthien.
Luthien.
I'll remember.
That was cool.
Yeah.
And then Beleg pulls that one out again with Beleg's been, he's been chipping away. He's got phenomenal accuracy. He doesn't miss. He doesn't do a ton of damage, although he has had a couple, arrow through the eye, like death strokes. But more commonly, he just chips away at dudes and dodges attacks spectacularly until he beat Ungoliant that way until he encountered Feanor. And then Feanor was just off with you. Yeah, so that was that region.
I was rooting for Beleg for a long time.
Yeah,
he was fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely. And then last region here, real quick, guys. So this region, the main upset was look at Thranduil's run. Pulls the 12-5 in the first round against Maedhros, son of Feanor, eldest son of Feanor. Didn't see that coming. That'd probably be the last. In fact, I think in our bracket breakdown show, I was like, that's not the 12-5 upset I'm picking, guys. This will be the last one I pick. And of course, it's the one that happened. And so he advances, and he wasn't done yet. He also slays Glorfindel for good measure and slithers into the Sweet 16. the wily wood elf, and then Feanor. I don't remember how close that fight was actually, so I won't say it was a beatdown or whatever. But Feanor handled business. Anyone to remember details from this one?
Not really.
Was it a beatdown? Maybe.
It was forgettable.
Okay.
I don't know.
Apparently so.
It's interesting though how well all the archers have done this tournament though.
One of the themes, right? And so Legolas, Thranduil, and Beleg all having upset deep runs based on the same skill set, which is that ranged combat. We've been making the analogy to, your hot 3-point shooting teams in March Madness, right? Those teams that go hot from 3, they can't miss. It'll carry you a couple rounds until you cool off. And then the bottom of this bracket, aside from Beor, pretty chalky here. So Beor, cool first round upset. He takes out Karkaroth. So we like seeing that. But then Fingon wasted him in this match. And Fingon almost was your champion of this whole region. He's the only character so far who's given any challenge to Feanor. This was a close one. He almost had Feanor. He should have had Feanor.
Mm-hmm.
And then Feanor, with very little health left, also a fight you guys got to check out if you haven't watched it yet. Go check out the replay, but I think it's on our featured fights on our events page, or our events page of the website. Fingon should have won this, and then Feanor got himself a death stroke to set up the final 4 of all three of our 1 seeds, our favorites, and then Beleg. And then finally tonight, our featured fight, our final fight, Eonwe against Feanor. Thoughts from the panel?
I have a question about the 2 seeds.
Sure.
Were the 2 seeds killed by the 1 seeds? Were the 2 seeds killed by random people?
A 3 beat a 2 here, so Fingon slew Glaurung. That's
okay, so that's not a big upset.
Pretty even. Saruman was slain by Ungoliant. He got stepped on. We remember that one.
Yes, he did.
So that's 2 3s over 2s. Over here we've got, the 1 taking out the 2 on Calagon. And then lastly up here Mithrandi, of course, lost in the first round.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So it's been a hell of a run so far. It pretty closely resembles a March Madness bracket. Honestly, like this pattern, if you want to call it that, could easily have been a March Madness bracket. A NCAA basketball tournament. So that sets up tonight's final fight, guys.
I don't like. These are my least 2 favorite characters, so I don't have a rooting interest.
Yeah, Chucky wanted at least one Balrog or someone, a dragon, perhaps.
Oh, it's not just that. A dwarf or a man.
Yeah.
It's hard to pick one, I think. Just from like a lore perspective, I don't know.
I'm elfist.
We know. I like some elves. I got Rivendell back here.
Admitting it is the first step, Chucky.
You know
that's the path to healing.
I had higher hopes for Elf Jesus though.
Who's Elf? Elf Jesus. yeah. Glorfindel.
Yeah, he should have gone a lot.
I know.
Yeah, agreed. I do like him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the other thing too is like, and from lore perspective, and I know we touched it on a different show, but Eonwe was just like, be gone to Feanor's sons, but I guess they get to face Dad now, so it's like, little bit of a level up there.
Yes, excellent trip to Lordor, Hanti. Indeed. Yeah, I wasn't tracking at first, but I'm totally remembering the scene now. So you might have to help me out. So yes, so this is the scene that we talked about at the very end of the Silmarillion. They've liberated one Silmaril already from Morgoth. That Beren and Luthien did on their epic quest, right? So they got one back from Morgoth that way, and then when Eonwe led the armies of Valinor in the Wars of Wrath back to Middle-earth, smashed Thangorodrim, slew all the beasties, really minus a couple, Sauron and Durin's Bane and maybe a couple others that snuck away. They got the last two Silmarils. Morgoth took a knee. Or else Tulkas was going to string him up with Angaidnor again, the chain, and drag his ass out of there. And so he humbled himself again, and he was banished to the void. And then the two Silmarils went to Eonwe, and he was holding them in an encampment. And of course, the oath that Feanor and his sons, that Feanor, again, forced himself on his deathbed, forced his sons to re-swear. Yeah, dick move. You guys know that I'm Team Feanor, and probably all the way up until that moment where he could have forgiven the whole oath. It could have been done with. There had been enough suffering. And instead of forgiving the oath on his deathbed, he looked at his sons and he said, "Get those Silmarils. Get them." Then he gets slain, right? Well, so, his sons, they have to they're oath-bound. And, if you don't break these old-fashioned Tolkien oaths, lest you call the everlasting darkness upon yourself. And none of us even know what that is. But there had been enough darkness with the slaying of the lamps and the trees, and darkness was a bad thing. So Maedhros didn't want it. Maglor didn't want it. And so they said, well, I guess there's nothing for it but for us to go and attack Eonwe. And one of the two, someone drop it in the comments if you remember which of the two. I think it was Maglor, the singer. One of the sons of Feanor said, "Bad idea, dude. Let's just get the everlasting darkness. We probably deserve the everlasting darkness, just all in our faces." And Maedhros was like, "No, I think we can. There's at least a chance we could take Eonwe, and even if we don't, we're doomed anyway." So they attack, and Eonwe says, "Guys, what are you doing? I'm not fighting you. You want the Silmarils? Take the Silmarils. I wasn't sitting here for further bloodshed against the elves." And so he takes the high road, right? And he says, I'm not going to swing at you. Don't swing at me. Take them. And then, of course, the jewels scorch their flesh because they are unhallowed, unclean hands. Even though that they're the sons of Feanor, I guess by their deeds, the way I interpret it anyway is the power of the Silmarils wasn't ever fully Feanor's to begin with, right? You have to think of it that way to make this make sense, I think, because otherwise, why couldn't Feanor's own sons handle the Silmarils? His father could. He made them. They were his. But by all the events and by the oath itself that they'd gone through, that power, which was a clean power in origin, the light of the trees in Valinor, would burn unclean hands, including the sons of Feanor's hands. So that's a really long way of elucidating Hanti's point about this fight tonight. We got Eonwe against Feanor himself. So
did your hat get uncomfortable? Your helm of Rohan?
Yeah, Hanti, you got uglier somehow.
A little tight, yeah. So, and then I got a helmet hair on top of that. So I'm like, oh, it is what it is.
Yeah, but we won't make you. That's a heavy, uncomfortable thing, but it's super sexy.
How heavy do you think it is?
I don't know, maybe anywhere between like 5 to 10 pounds.
Is it padded?
A little bit. Let me grab it.
Just trying to gauge how comfortable this thing is.
There is like leather padding in there, so like it is, somewhat comfortable. It's just a little heavy.
So tell folks folks watching, what is that?
So this is a replica of Eomer's helmet. So yeah, you can see it.
Who?
Here with the Eomer.
King Eomer. Okay.
Yes. He becomes king after Theoden passes, and he eventually becomes kind of like the Lord of Rohan. So,
he many times fulfills the oath with Aragorn.
Yes, indeed. And I love how ultimately he ends up marrying Imrahil's daughter, and so you get a recombination of Rohan with Dol Amroth and Gondor. So they're linked both on Faramir's side by marrying Eowyn, and on Eomer's side by marrying Dol Amroth. And bonus points to anyone who wants to drop the name of the Princess of Dol Amroth in the comments. That's like a Jeopardy 1000 question. Daughter of Imrahil, Lothiriel, or it sounds like Lothlorien, I want to say, but yeah. Anyway, that's a cool aftermath situation that happens. Yes. What have we here? Yes, Lothiriel. That's right?
I'd probably have to Google it.
That's right?
All right.
These stats are close. Hey?
Man. Yeah, so if you guys have been watching us throughout the tournament, you know this pregame number crunch breakdown that the Battle Engine does. It's super useful. So you got blue line, Feanor, green line, Eonwe, or you can look up here in the stats table, whichever you prefer. Same depictions here. At a glance, though, with these charts, you can tell huge advantage in accuracy here. I mean, that stands out like dog's balls. But you've got Feanor way more accurate
but Eonwe won't use it very often.
Yes. So hold on. That's Feanor
7%
is more accurate. Yeah. So Eonwe wants to use. He favors melee combat, whereas Feanor also favors melee combat. Yeah. So accuracy is what is a ranged attack, obviously, which won't be used, but stats say about 8% in this battle, 7%. So, I don't know. That being said, it's probably still the right move for Feanor to fight with his Sword of Formenos. What else are we seeing here, guys? What jumps out?
You know, there's a comment there that says there's lots of defense and we might be here a while, but I don't get it. All the comments above that are, I don't know. These people seem to have more offense and defense to me.
Yeah, so the defensive stats, just to remind everyone, look here. Blue is defense.
Armor.
Red up at the top is offense. Green at the bottom is ranged. So think of these like Madden stats or FIFA stats. Like your players, your characters all have a combination.
What about
Chell? Yeah, Chell. So they got stats in all these different categories. Some weak, some strong. In the cases of the 1 seed, pretty much all strong. No huge faults anyway. But yeah, these defensive ones, I wanted to look. Valor, toughness, elusiveness, armor, spirit. Now, if you blend valor, toughness, and spirit, those three in unison tell you how likely you are to resist melee damage. Okay? Valor, toughness, and spirit. So I wanted to check Feanor. Valor, maxed out. Toughness, not that great. Not elite, anyway. He doesn't have elite toughness. That's a 72 down here. Sorry, I get my hand going here. And then spirit, pretty damn good. 87. So, stout dude compared to the Maya. Eonwe. Valor, 85. Not as brave as Feanor. Toughness 88, much tougher, and spirit maxed out. Right, the Maya have excellent spirit. That's your, that's your spiritual armor, if you will. Armor in this only opposes one other counter stat, and that's striking. So if you look at your flow, what armor does is it helps you not get wounded when there's a strike here in the middle of this flow chart, right? So if the offensive attacker can engage successfully, then you roll again to strike, and that's the striking value against the armor value. And you have to pass that in order to get to the wounding phase. So let's cross multiply those. Doing math problems over here. Look at that. You've got striking of Eonwe. That's a 94 against 92 armor for Feanor. Those wash out, basically. Feanor, though, if he strikes, Eonwe, like most Maya, doesn't have great armor. He relies more on his spirit down here at the bottom to resist damage. So, Feanor will probably wound if he strikes. Am I saying that right, Engine Chief?
Yeah.
I think I am. Mm-hmm. Something to watch for Feanor, though, because, if he can wound, which isn't guaranteed because, good elusiveness here for the Maya. You should be able to get some wounds here. And Feanor does have a couple straight-out advantages. Accuracy might get washed because, again, he's not going to use too much ranged. Armor is going to be an advantage. Valor, an advantage because when he strikes, Valor's part of how he wounds. Ferocity helps him engage. He should engage. He should wound. Can he strike successfully, right? I see a close fight here. Talent-wise, look, they're both 1 seeds. Talent-wise, you see the numbers here. 1207 total skill to Eonwe. 1192 for Feanor. Close. What does your heart tell you, in the words of Galadriel?
Eonwe is going to punish Feanor for his bullshit.
I was leaning towards Eonwe, but now that we're pointing out these defensive values, and I think Feanor might win this.
Woo!
I think
Feanor wins this if Eonwe has to go to his weaker thing, and it's not weak compared to anyone else, but it's weak compared to him. Eonwe is a little better at melee than ranged. Feanor can flip, so I'm going to watch that. If they stay there at just melee, which probably will happen, then Eonwe wins a close one.
I like it. That's a good take. One more bit of Lordor, and then are we ready to fight, ladies and gentlemen?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
For all our viewers out there, drop comments. We know you're watching. We can see the eyeballs, but participate, for this is your last chance. It's the final fight, guys, so let's go.
Until next time.
Yes, until next time. Of this tournament, this is the final. One more bit of Lordor that I thought was interesting and maybe applicable here. Feanor, if you recall, his mom, now I'm going to forget her name. Miriel, I'm sorry. So Finwë was one of the 3 original elf kings from Cuiviénen, from the very creation of elves that came west. One never made it to Valinor. That was Thingol. He stayed and became, the Sindarin line with Melian. So the other 2 actually, make it to Valinor. They live and they study amongst the gods and the angels for a while. But Feanor's mom is actually a more interesting character than I feel like most people know. Miriel. Now, this is also Aragorn's mother's name later, which is kind of a cool parallel. Anyway, so Feanor's mom has Feanor, but she dies on her deathbed. And sort of in this revelatory moment, she realizes...
Everybody dies on their deathbed.
I'm sorry, on her in childbirth. So she dies during childbirth, having Feanor. Is that her birth bed? She dies on her birth bed? I don't know.
Yes.
She dies.
Birthing bed, yeah.
Birthing bed, thank you. So she dies right when she's given birth to her first son. And the way she describes it, the way Tolkien describes it, is all of her spirit then passes into Feanor. Her Feya, which is the first, prefix of Feanor's name, is her spirit. His name was actually Kuru Finwë, which is son of Finwë. Very creative. But they called him Feanor, spirit of fire, because when his mom's spirit on her death passes into him, it's like a spirit of fire. The fire goes out of her into him. The reason I bring that up, though, is because even though he's an elf, not only... Okay, so he's an elf, but he's a double elf at least because his mom's spirit has passed into him. But he's also studied his whole life with the Maiar and the Eldar. And so, yes, he's an elf. Yes, he's a Noldorin elf. But at the very worst, he's elf and a half from his mom, and then imbued by all these crazy powers of the Valar and Maiar from his life. Not to mention he's the most skilled elf that was ever born in Valinor, in the Age of the Trees. So this is about as jacked as you could possibly make an elf, right? That's the point. So if you're looking at the elf Maiar upset and calling, saying, oh, well, that could never happen because one's a Maiar and one's an elf. To that, I would say, upsets are common in Tolkien, number one. Number two is several examples of Maiar being straight up slain by lesser beings, okay? Just so, or at least threatened, and if not slain, Grima Wormtongue takes out Saruman. You can start there. From that, you can go to Balrogs being slain by elves. Balrogs also are Maya spirits, the Valaraukar, they're fire Maiar that join Melkor. So this can happen, and it does happen. And so if you're going to pick an elf to slay a Maiar, who better to pick than Feanor?
Mm.
Have I guaranteed that this is going to be a beatdown in favor of Eonwe now?
I hope.
Listen. My brain is telling me Eonwe, but my heart is saying, "Fuck Manwë." That's all we got to do.
Yeah.
Part of the club.
I can't stand Manwë. I'm with you on that.
I have to go with you, so I'm hoping this fight happens.
Okay, so shall we fight, ladies and gentlemen? Have we blathered on long enough?
Probably.
Then let us fight.
Let's do it.
The final fight, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. In the final fight of the ultimate Tolkien tournament, we have Eonwe, the herald of Manwë, against Feanor, the greatest of the Noldor. Let us fight one last time. Feanor with the first blow. Take off the armor. Eonwe comes back, engages, cannot hit. Another hit by Feanor does no damage. And the Maya comes back. He uses enchanted blades, as he's wont to do, but does not engage. Feanor comes back. A hit! A wound! Slay!
What?
Instantly.
What?
The beatdown.
Whoa!
By the maker of the Silmarils.
100. It's a hundy.
He rolled triple snake eyes, and we've seen that a couple times.
Well then, there it is.
Eonwe, you loser.
Engine Chief, explain this to us, if you please.
Sir. If it's not 0, it's not 0.
Yeah.
Do you have a
5-round beatdown?
Yeah.
And Feanor is the champion of Middle Earth. Can you believe it? I mean, I can. I guess I already explained why it could happen.
I think it was one of the lines in the prediction plot right before was saying that Feanor could do damage if he can hit.
Yes. But I mean, really
still,
what this is just it's a good old-fashioned death stroke, right? He goes through the progression, he engages, he hits, he wounds, and then on the last roll, he got what I call triple snake eyes, or what should you call it? What's a good metaphor of just scoring the unlikely death stroke?
It'd be like a natural 20, right? Like on the 20-sided dice.
You rolled a nat 20.
Yeah, exactly. So again, so for everyone, probably most of you guys saying, how the hell could this ever happen? Well, first of all, it's an algorithm. We're simulating dice rolls here in our battle engine. It's a complex algorithm. Well, it's a complex series of dice, quote unquote, dice rolls. But what we are calling a death stroke is down here at the very bottom of the extent of damage chart. If you roll 100% life loss, which is very unlikely, you do get these death strokes. We've seen, I'm going to say, 10, a dozen of them throughout the tournament. So that's what we're talking about here. So, yeah, very last... Oh, I mean... Feanor does get an initial wound here, but it's one that you would expect against one of the Maiad. And then he comes back with the death stroke and ends it. Unbelievable, man.
He didn't have time to deal with that.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm busy. I got to find
Feanor said, there's hockey on, bro.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, it's kind of like in true fashion. Like, it was just kind of like, I'm going to strike hard and fast.
Some of us haven't had dinner, so we're just...
Yeah.
Oh, so Feanor knows about everyone's schedule. I got you. He's Canadian, too.
Mm.
Then, Chucky, you ought to like him, man. He's Canadian. Oh, man. So, guys, that is the inaugural Middle-earth Madness Ultimate Tolkien Tournament. Thoughts about the whole thing? I'm opening it up to the panel. I'm opening it up to our audience. Drop some comments. What do we got? Where are we at?
I definitely want to do this again.
Yeah.
For sure.
More.
Yeah.
There's so many characters. I feel like we could
there's so many ways this could have gone, and the way that it ended up is pretty crazy. Gothmog, Mary, all these death strokes. Beleg getting further than he ever should have. And then we didn't even get to see some of the most favorite ones even do anything, like Helm Hammerhand or Beorn, or I wanted to see Glorfindel do more.
Yeah, I know.
So,
man.
I mean,
we have all kinds of levers we could pull. So, for example, we could have the tournament happen during the rain so that ranged things like fire don't work as well as melee, and all the melee characters do better. We can have just more. It's fought in such conditions like darkness where characters have to use their weaker weapon more often. Right?
Yeah.
And that'll give you more upset. There's all kinds of... if you win in the first round, you can pick at the body of the guy you killed. And if he has a superior sword to you, then you have his sword in the next round. So you become stronger than you were coming to the tournament. We got all kinds of things we can do.
Speaking of developments, I love all those ideas. Speaking of developments, is Feanor retired now?
See, that's another really good
Hey.
idea. Yeah. Should champions be able to defend their title, or do they have to sit out a tourney?
They can defend it in 2 years.
or maybe there's like a special honor for whoever won the last tournament, and then the winner of the next tournament will have to face that person.
So there's like a after
Tournament
the
of Champions.
a tournament after the championship tournament. Yeah,
I like it.
Ooh. I think it would also be fun to do like a losers bracket. Like,
Yeah.
So, I guess like Eonwe would get a bye towards basically like the I guess kind of like the final, right? But like all the people who lost in the round of 64 fight each other, move on to the round of 32 and fight the losers of that. So I don't know. I think it'd be like kind of like a double elimination type of a tournament.
Yeah, I also think it would be cool. Like in this case here, I like the idea of maybe I'm watching hockey playoffs right now, so I'm biased, but like a best of 3 or 5 for the championship, or maybe even the final 4 would be interesting from a statistical perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's always.
I get that it's like there's, it's a March Madness style, and don't want to beat a dead horse with like the same fight, but it would be interesting just to see, I guess. Is all.
Oh yeah. That's the biggest downfall, I think, of the single elimination tournament, whether it's the NFL playoffs or something bigger like March Madness.
Mm-hmm.
The downside is, I mean, you get these crazy ups on any given day, in any given match, as we just saw. Crazy crap, puck luck can happen, right? And you get these upsets, and once you have one, it definitely breaks down the region, right? So that's the best team does not always win, right? That's, I guess, is that good or is that bad? It's just kind of the style of this kind of tournament.
I think it really comes down to what do we want to do in terms of like, are we trying to actually figure out who the strongest is, or are we just trying to have some fun? We can do both, we can do both, but just have to kind of think about what are we accomplishing?
Yeah, less elves. There should be less elves with a name starting with F.
Also, at some point, somebody brought up like a bracket strategy where we would have not like regions, but maybe certain races in different brackets, so that you get a guaranteed representation at the end of the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I think David brought that up. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun.
Another idea along those lines is like the World Cup soccer, where you have to you're in a group at first.
Yeah.
And so you lose your first game, you're not necessarily out of it. You have a little pod, a little group where you play round robin within your group to try to get to the top.
Yeah.
So that way, I mean, if your favorite guy loses in the very first round, you never see him again. And we have basically no hobbits, no dwarfs after one round.
Right.
From Mary.
Right. Yeah, I mean, which you'd expect in this format of the tournament, but there's a lot of other formats for tournaments, for sure.
What other characters would you guys like to see?
So there's some obvious ones missing, right? Like Gollum. Yeah.
Udin?
Yeah. Udin.
Wait, who? Tuord?
What, was he not in this bracket?
Wasn't Durin? Was Durin in this?
Durin. I'm sorry. Yeah, the Dwarf Lord.
Yeah.
So Durin.
Balin.
First, right?
Balin as well.
Yes.
I'd like also maybe some Easterlings of some sort.
Ulfang, Ulwath.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys like those are first age Easterlings, but
yeah, but still.
What about unnamed characters like Durin's Bane or the Watcher in the Water or Random Cave Troll?
I think there's still more named people even still.
Yeah.
that we could get through before that. Like
what about like
Alma or whatever?
What's his name? Farazan?
Yes,
Maybe.
he was one of our alternates.
Was he?
Yeah, so we have him already, which is cool. But Galadriel made the field instead of him, so we had to pull him. That was a playing game. So yeah, Elfhelm. There's
but look at the same thing backwards. If you restrict it, like you said, by race, or if you restrict it by third age only, okay, then Legolas could win the whole thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So we have a third age bracket in mind. In fact, that might be the next event that you guys see. By the way, stay tuned to all of this because we are still finalizing what our next thing will be. But very soon we'll let you know. Make sure you subscribe. MiddleEarthMadness.com. That's not so we can sell you stuff. We're not making any money here. It's not what we're doing. But we ask that you do subscribe. All that red crap at the bottom of the screen on our socials, and follow us on the website. Subscribe on the website because we are going to be rolling out more juicy stuff here pretty soon. And we're on the cusp of a decision for that. Not only just tournament stuff like you've seen here in this format, but completely different games. So I can't tease them too much now because development stuff and all that. We're keeping it close. But do you like Tolkien trivia? Stay tuned. Do you like fantasy football format games? Stay tuned. Do you like more lore-based podcasty type stuff? Stay tuned. That kind of thing. So I don't know. To tease a few of the things that might be in the pipeline, we just have to figure out the way that it makes most sense to get that out to you guys. So please do us a favor, do yourselves a favor if you're enjoying this. Subscribe on your favorite platforms, regardless of what those are. All right. Soapbox dismount.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, like all that stuff, like really does help, like the channel, like all the algorithms and stuff like that. So like hitting the like, sharing with your friends, subscribing, like all that stuff.
Yeah. Hit like, share.
Yeah, totally appreciate it.
Rewatch the other videos if you haven't seen them yet. If you're stumbling upon this and you don't know how Feanor got here, they're all up there on YouTube. So go watch them, hey?
Yes. Else you call upon yourself the everlasting darkness. And now I'm gonna have to go figure out what that thing actually is.
Ungoliant, maybe.
Maybe it's Ungoliant. She's just sticking around.
Some pit in the halls of Mondos.
Yeah. So Feanor, champion of Middle Earth. One of the reasons I was hoping that wouldn't happen. Well, one of the minor reasons is I'm not really a fan. No disrespect to our art team, but this is one of my least favorite logos for such a badass character. I don't know. We're going to have to redo this logo. I don't think he had a lightsaber in the lore. I don't know, man. It's a cool rendition. Like, I get it. He's
you don't like his ice sword?
Yeah, I like the fire and ice duality. Like, whoever he fought that where you mentioned, that's fire against ice thing. That was cool. And there we go. Yeah, his blade does go because badass Smith studied under Cole and all that stuff. I get it. But that's all.
Definitely doesn't scream Feanor.
I guess you could think about maybe the hammer, right? You could you do the hammer and the Silmaril or something.
Yeah, I see him like with the Silmaril like in his hand, like this.
Actually, now that you zoom in though, that it doesn't look that much like a lightsaber. I actually like it a little more when it's zoomed in. It's like a glowing blade, perhaps.
I just picture him with like some type of thing on his head, like not a crown, but like a
Yeah.
I don't know, decorative golden circlet.
Yeah. Details at the end of the day, but
Yeah, I'm just wondering why he's Feanor of the 9 fingers. It looks like he only has 4 fingers.
Oh, I get because that his thumb is wrapping around there.
No, it's just yeah, whatever. Anyways,
I think he's just like unsheathing his sword. Maybe is what they were going for. But
yeah, like you said, details.
Anyways, we have a champion.
First official champion of the first official tournament.
Yep.
Yeah. So we must
Jedi.
We must give him. we got to give him a crown now. And then maybe he'll sit out one
like
of
a
it.
WWE belt, just like the champion.
Yeah. I mean, maybe he does. Maybe he does sit out.
Do me a favor, please. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. Shit, I'm saying.
Exactly. Maybe he needs to do that. Oh, dude. Now we're shitting on Feanor, and he just won the tournament, though.
Was there ever a case where he slew a fell foe that wasn't his own kin?
Did he? Okay, so that initial battle when they first got over there, where a bunch of orcs came out and they're just annihilated. I think that was in Mithrim, though, with Fingolfin's group. I want to say that wasn't Feanor. I think Feanor just ran straight to freaking Angband and got after it. So I think the answer is not really. It's an interesting point.
Yeah, of all the powerful characters, he has not really a whole lot of feats of strength.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Yeah.
He stinks.
Man.
That's so funny. Your price is a roasting session, Feanor.
It is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's a tough crowd around here in the Chamber of Death. If you win, you get hosed. Apparently. But with that, the clock tells us that it is time to depart for now, friends. So, we shall leave you with good thoughts and good wishes, and no wishes of pain or death. But that being said, truly, thanks everyone for joining us on this sort of first inaugural journey. We didn't know really what was going to happen in here, but we've been having some fun, and hopefully next time we'll do it better for you guys across the board. And I mean, I'm already looking forward to it. Again, I wish I could tell you guys some more, but please follow for more. It's coming. I promise it's coming. It's going to be sweet. So tell your Tolkien friends that it's only going to get better from here. If you missed any part of this, if you're, I think we have a couple new viewers tonight, actually, at least names I don't recognize on the old Twitch. So, hey, man, if you're seeing this for the first time, welcome. You tuned into the final fight. You're doing it backwards, but that's cool. We love having you here. Good news. You can go straight to the website or to any socials, find links for all the fights. They're all on YouTube. I think YouTube is the easiest place to go, don't you guys? But the events page of the website, probably equally good because we have featured fights. So that's going to pull from, because there's 63 fights in this tournament. It's a big tournament. If you would like to see our sort of bespoke list of best fights, go to the website, middle-earthmadness.com. So, yeah, go to all those that you see right there, or you see right there. That's the one. That's the one. So, hey, Hattie-Man.
Yes.
I owe you guys brews, and I owe you guys food. So next time we're together, that's a thing, because I appreciate you guys' help and your commentary throughout the tourney, man. It's been fun.
Oh man,
I'm just glad to be here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've had fun with it, so like I appreciate the invite as always.
Oh, of course, dude.
But I'll still take that brew.
You bet, man. Anytime. We'll get it. We'll get it in Colorado or Texas or North Carolina or any of these California, whatever states we're in. So we're covering a lot of ground these days. So yeah, thanks to you guys, and thanks to everyone watching, man. Again, it's been a fun journey. And with that, let's sign out for the final time in the final fight by saying our usual words. Until the next battle. Remember, as Professor Tolkien says, you can only come to the morning through the shadows, and where there is life, there is always hope. You are never out of the fight.